Hey, it's Larry Watson with Larry Watson Homes at RE/MAX. If you've seen my other videos, then you know there are big changes happening starting August 17th, 2024. This video today is geared towards buyers. Buyers, I want you to understand, from this point forward, August 17th forward, you cannot view a property without signing a contract with someone, an agent. Even if you go to an open house, you have to sign in now. I know it was optional before, and some agents did have sign-in sheets and some didn't. If you do not have representation, you will need to sign in at an open house. I'm going to go through three buyer contracts that will need to be signed, or at least one of those will need to be signed prior to entering any property. I'm going to start with the open house one right here. So here's the first form or contract that we'll talk about today. This is the open house visitor non-agency disclosure and sign-in. You're going to start to see this at open houses. There are 5 key terms here. It talks about the visitor's intention to view the property, the agent holding the open house or conducting the in-person or live virtual tour. Visitor is interested in viewing the property. Agent agrees to show the property to the visitor on the following terms. And then here are the terms. Agent doesn't represent the visitor. Communication with the agent at the open house property tour for the benefit of the seller. Communication with the agent are not confidential. If the visitor writes an offer on the property, and if the visitor wants to be represented by the agent holding the open house, what the next steps are. So this is something you're going to start to see at open houses. So let's say you find a property online and you want to go check it out, and you call up the agent to go look at that property. Maybe there's another property or two that you want to go check out as well. There's a contract to sign for that one. I kind of call it the first date contract because you can see up to 3 properties with this contract, and the commitment is with those 3 properties only. Let me show you the form. Okay, so this one is called Property Showing and Representation Agreement. This is for use with a prospective buyer up to 3 open houses or other properties only. As you can see, there's only lines here for 3 properties. They would be listed out individually right there. There is a representation period. It cannot exceed 30 days. So let's say it's just for 1 day. An agent can put in there just 1 day. You're going to go look at 3 properties. You are making a commitment to pay compensation to that agent because they are, in fact, representing you on those 3 properties at that time. You can cancel if you want this agreement, but you will still be tied to pay that broker. If there was 3 properties listed up here, you'll be tied to pay that broker a compensation should you buy one of those properties. Again, that one is the one I kind of call the first date because it's only tied to 3 properties, and it gives you an opportunity to meet that agent and see if maybe you gel or not gel. My recommendation is interview a buyer's agent much like a seller would when they're going to list their home for sale. They'll interview 1, 2, 3 agents. Make sure that that agent's going to do what they need done to make sure that they can get their home marketed and sold correctly. You're going to be doing the same thing as a buyer looking for a buyer's agent. What can this agent do for me to help me get into that home? Because remember, you're committed to paying that agent from this point forward. Now, there's still ways to get a seller to pay that obligation, which I'm going to get into in another video, but let me show you this last and final contract, which is a buyer representation contract. This is the one you're going to sign after you've had an interview with an agent and you've decided this is the person I'm going to work with and this is the right person to help me find and buy a home. Here's the form that you would sign once you've decided that yes, this is going to be the agent that I want to work with. This is called a buyer representation and broker compensation agreement. You can see that it's a right to represent you. Your name would go in there, the broker's name. Here's the representation period. It'd be a beginning date and an ending date, and it can not exceed 3 months. It's going to have the property type, whether it's single family, multifamily. It's going to have locations. So you'll enter in here the counties or cities that you're interested in looking, if there's any additional description that you would put in there. This is an added form that can be put in. It just talks about the different preferences that you would like in a property. I don't know that all agents will use that. I plan to. Down here, amount of compensation. Yes, like I said before, you're making a commitment to pay that agent, whoever you choose. Now this is negotiable. I don't know if it's going to be a percentage, if it's going to be a set fee or what. That's between you and the agent that you choose. Cancellation rights. There's different cancellation rights if it's non-exclusive or exclusive. This contract defaults to non-exclusive. However, if you're at this point, you're likely going to sign an exclusive agreement. Remember, you've interviewed this agent and you have decided this is the right person to work with. You do have to supply financial information to the agent that you have the capacity to pay. But look down here. Here you can see other financial considerations. Buyer does not have sufficient funds to pay broker. This could be a very strong possibility because most of the time a buyer is coming in with a down payment and they still have their cash to close with their loan with different closing costs. Anyways, that gives you a brief idea of what the buyer's representation agreement is. I recommend, and I'm going to stress this, interview buyer's agents. Make sure you're picking the right person. You don't want to get stuck into a bad contract. Who you choose to represent you matters more now than ever before. As always, I'm available for your questions. You can give me a call, 805-660-8219, or shoot me a message wherever you're watching this. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Have a great day. Bye-bye.